The callouts for New Undertow and Marlin Airport are on their way, so I made a tweet about it and threw in at the end, "Don't call the Undertow Tunnel anything silly while I'm gone." And just what do you think people did in the replies to that very tweet? The nerve. The absolute indignity I have been subjected to. This just won't do. These ideas are far too silly. All of them. Literally all of them. Like, every suggestion I've seen, even outside this thread, for what to name this thing, is bad, for pretty easily understood reasons. I'm going to make fun of you. Partly because I like you, and you can make fun of people you like, and it's okay. And partly because you're wrong, and I want you to understand why. This is every name I've seen for this area on callouts, and why it's bad. The first suggestion was to rename this area up here to heaven, and this area under here to hell. This is based on a convention from other shooters where you have a high ground point called heaven, and then directly underneath it is hell. Man, some of y'all think you want this whole game to be Valorant. You know what you really want? You want a game dev that's actually putting money into its esports scene. That's it. You don't want literally any other part of Valorant. Have you seen how slow that game is? Have you seen how punishing it is to accidentally leave one polygon of your forehead out around a blind corner? Did you never once listen to me when I explained why voice chat would have been terrible for this game, and why not having it literally makes the game the most gender-diverse esport without actually stopping people from playing it in a coordinated setting if they want to? Stop cosplaying so you feel like we play a big, serious, grown-up game for adults where you kill people and it's like a real war, and be a silly squid instead, because that's a better thing to be anyway. Besides, people already knew the heaven thing is glass, and renaming things so people have to unlearn what they've already learned is way more confusing than just leaving it the way it is. Shower. I still don't completely understand why anyone decided to name this area Shower. And that's about the worst thing I can say about a callout. I heard one person say that they think it looks like a shower if you put a sprinkler on the ceiling. And like, yeah, that would make it look significantly more shower-like than it currently does, wouldn't it? Now, I'm not an architect, so maybe you can fill me in. What exactly would be the idea of making a shower that has two entrances? When have you ever seen one of those? Why does that need to exist? One door for the algae growing in the stagnant water on the floor, and one door for the cephalopods? Why are we segregating them? Why can't they just coexist? Gazebo. A gazebo is an outdoor structure with a roof and a 360-degree open view of the area outside for viewing nature from. Well, I think we're mostly indoors, but we've got like 150 degrees. And there's that algae again. See, that counts as nature. Fort. I see where people are coming from on this, but that doesn't mean everyone will. What people are thinking is that this would be an insanely fun place to make a blanket fort, where you put like curtains around you, and now it's your super secret little bunker, and you can bring snacks inside and watch a movie in it, and it feels small and cozy and fun. Thing is, we play a shooter video game where people are going around with weapons, and the first thing this might suggest to someone is an actual military fortification, which is more likely to bring to mind battlements or pillboxes, something it would be tactically advantageous to shoot from. So, I like the whimsy, but I think I'll set up my blanket fort somewhere that there isn't stagnant water everywhere, and also where people aren't trying to shoot each other. Man cave. Aha, now we're talking. The man cave. Just for the boys, the guys, the fellas. No girls allowed in here, am I right? Get rid of slimy girls meeting is now in session. Sorry, ladies. One of these I am not going to pronounce in a Squid School video. No. Moving on. Hidey hole. While I appreciate the whimsy, and that this one was never really meant to be taken seriously, even then, I have to point out that it's not a very good hidey hole. You can hide better over here than you can over there. It's less open. It's more of a hole, too, if you think about jumping into it from up here. Shed. Huh? What do you mean, shed? Do you know what that word means? Literally what about this structure suggests a shed, more than it suggests the names of even 100 other structures. A shed has 4 walls and a ceiling, fully enclosed, and it's designed as a standalone building. This is genuinely the most bewildering suggestion I have seen. I still can't understand where on earth it's coming from. Hole. Okay, so I get that this is a lot more practical than hidey hole, but first, we have the same problem that someone might think that that area over there is hole instead. It's definitely more like falling in a hole than you can experience here. But on top of that, you forget about what we were expecting from the stage's rework. A pole. Wahoo pole, wahoo pole, wahoo timer. You've seen the memes. You know how much we as a community will just run a joke into the ground, grind it into dust, and then make new things out of that dust instead of discarding it. We didn't get an undertow pole, so we got an undertow hole. Oh my god, it rhymes. I'm a genius. That's the hole right there. No, not that. That's the hole. Not that. This is the undertow hole. Cave. Structurally speaking, this is pretty much the most correct out of the suggestions, and the one that takes the least explaining for someone unfamiliar with the callouts to get. Sure, Heaven and Hell works with the Valorant people, but you'd have to explain that to a lot of Splatoon players, and then we'd probably get someone with a cross emoji in their Twitter bio complaining about it, and it's more trouble than it's worth. But cave, I feel like people get cave. If it were to be cave, I wouldn't complain. But it's hard to think cave when everything about the structure around it is so clearly artificial and manufactured, and so instead, we come to what we will actually be calling it, tunnel. It's enclosed on all sides, but you can move into it from one end, keep moving forward, and come out the other end. It goes through something, like the ground, or in this case, another building. That's what a tunnel is. It's easy to say. Like, yes, it has 2 syllables, but it's just as fast to say as cave, if not faster. Tunnel, 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 cave, 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 cave. To make up for the obvious deficit in y'all's understanding, I will be recommending additional coursework in geometry, civil engineering, architecture, topology, topography, and both the 101 and 201 credits in the Going Outside for Once certification. Have a day, and thanks for watching.